Do you want to know about non-QM loan programs? I interviewed a loan officer and he's telling us everything.
So a few years ago, the banks came out with a new program called non-QM, where a lot of people they don't qualify with the tax returns. Either because there's a lot of losses on the tax returns and depreciation or whatever it is, and they can't get qualified with tax returns. So the banks came out with new programs. One of the programs is called a bank statement program, where you only have to show 12 months of bank statements, and they look at the deposits and they say, okay, you put in, let's say, $200,000 deposits into your bank statements. Well, we say that your income is $100,000 a year. So even if someone wants to buy a house as a primary house, not even investment, if you could show 12 months of bank statements, then we are able to give them a mortgage going off the bank statements. Then there's another program called DSCR, where you don't have to show anything. As long as the rent covers the mortgage, you qualify for the loan. Now, how do you know the rent covers the mortgage or not? So we send out an appraiser, and the appraiser does an appraisal of the house, and then the appraiser says, okay, this is how much the house is worth, and this is how much rent, the going rent is on this property, and we go off that going rent. It's called the rental market. So let's say if the rental market is $3,500 and the mortgage payment is $3,450, then you qualify. But if the mortgage payment is $3,700 and you're only getting $3,500 rental income, then you don't qualify anymore. So that's another program. And then we have another program called a P&L, which is called profit and loss statement. So let's say a guy doesn't have bank statements and his rent doesn't cover the mortgage. He can still qualify doing a profit and loss statement, showing how much profit he made that in the year, let's say 2024. If he made profits of let's say $200,000, and then he netted $160,000, $150,000. So we take that profit and loss. It has to be signed by a CPA, and as long as it's signed by the CPA, we can use that as income as well. So those are like the three most popular programs that we do non-QM, which was probably today is like 50% of my pipeline is these programs, these non-QM programs. And the rates are pretty well, they're not as good as Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac rates, but not so much higher, maybe 0.5% higher or something like that. But for a lot of people, that's a way how to get into their house, which until now they were never able to get into the house. Now they could get into the house with these type of programs.
Wow, that sounds amazing. So
yes,
thank you for sharing with us.
100%.
And all right.
And if you have any questions, always feel free to call me, 732-600-1696. Again, that's 732-600-1696. Or they could send me email at sinai@gorascal.com. Sinai, which is my first name, SINAI, @gorascal.com. I could send them a link to put in an application. And once they put an application, I could tell